We gotta learn how to be still. We gotta learn how to sit still sometimes, man. On a daily basis, I feel like we just run all over the place. Whether it's our minds running because we on social media or talking to so and so and so and so, and they giving us opinions, or we like physically going to and from different places. We always on the move. We always constantly running. We work for 8 hours. We sleep for 8 hours. And then we doing something else for another 8. You know what I mean? But a lot of that time is spent running around, whether it's looking at our phones or we just in the world consumed by everything that's in front of us, everything that's being advertised to us, all the conversations that we being pulled into, the places that we got to go. These are all things that are like keeping us on the run, and it's preventing us from taking that moment to like sit and be still, you know? And I think it's very important, like before you start your day, like right after you get up, to just be still for a second, to like set your intentions, set your mood for the day before the day set it for you. You feel me? Because bro, sometimes I wake up and if I don't like make sure I set my own internal clock, like somebody else gonna do it. You know what I mean? Somebody else gonna do it. Whether it's some type of situation that happened in the day or it's the job that you gotta go to, somebody is going to set your internal clock or set the day if you don't set it. So you need to set the mood for your own day. And that really comes with being still. We run around every day. We see probably thousands and thousands of different products being advertised to us about what we need and the new cars and the new iPhone and the blah, 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 blah. We don't even hear ourselves think. When's the last time you heard like your own self for real think, you know? Because a lot of the times with everything going on, especially in the day and age we is now, everybody is like sharing their opinion about whatever it is. So when you on social media, it's like, it's easier because when we scrolling on our phone, we just like, oh, this is a person, this is a person, it's a person, it's a person. But imagine each post that you scroll past, imagine that was a person who just like talked to you about whatever video or picture you just saw. Each thing that you scroll by, it's like, yo, hey, bro, like here's a picture I took. I was like at this today. And then a different person like, yo, hey, I was actually over here today. And a different person like, yo, I was eating this today and I did this today. It's like mad overwhelming. But because it's within the scroll of a finger and it's not that taxing like physically, right? Like we're not like running around talking to these people. It's very mentally taxing though, because we are just putting and consuming so much information in our brains, right? Like at some point it's some type of capacity, you feel me? Like not to like limit our brains, but at some point like we need to express and let out the things that we consume and put into our heads, you know what I mean? Because if we aren't aware of the things that we're putting into our heads, we won't know what is what. You feel me? A lot of us and a lot of people in general just live their life based off of the opinions of like people on social media. It's not even their own opinion. It's like the opinions of people on social media. And sometimes when we get in a cycle of just consuming so much, it's like we don't even hear our own voice, because we spend every minute of every day hearing somebody else's voice or opinion. It's like, damn, do you even know your own opinion? Or like, you know, you ever ask yourself that question? Like, oh, if I go do this, this, and that, like, is this how I actually feel about the situation? Or is this like what my parents instilled me to think about the situation? So now it's like, you're not really living for yourself, you're living for your parents, you know? It's not really your opinion. Yeah, you're making the decision, but in your head is the voice of like your mom or your dad, or, you know? It's not your voice or your true, authentic opinion. And I feel like to get closer to that, we need to honestly detox. We gotta take a break. Like, we gotta like take a break from letting everybody else thoughts in our heads, so like we can settle our own brains and be like, okay, man, like this is what I think, and like this is what I believe, and this is like how I'm gonna live my life, regardless of what people got to say, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your life. And that's a big thing that I had to come across, because, you know, I feel like a majority of us, we want to do right by like our folks and our parents, you know, the people who helped us get to where we are now, you know? But at some point you have to realize there's going to be like a split off, where it's like your parents may want you to do this one thing, but you feel called to do some other thing. And it's like, you have to be able to make that decision of what path you're going to go down, and what that voice inside of you, aka your intuition, aka your God mind, the higher consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right, will speak to you. And we can only really hear that voice because, to me, that voice is like, it's a very quiet voice. You feel me? It's like, yeah, go that direction. It's never like, yo, it's never like that voice that's like screaming at you. You feel me? It's always that voice in the back of your head that's like, this don't feel right, or nah, this is like the way to go. But it's very like calm, and it knows what direction it wants to go. But the only way that we get to that point is if we learn how to be still. And being still is not laziness. Don't confuse the two, right? I used to think that like being productive all the time is the way to like grow and shit, and it's not. Like, think about working out. If I just work out 24/7 every fucking day and I don't take the time to like rest, right? Rest is where your muscles actually grow. We need to take the time to like be still and hear ourselves and detox from the outside world opinion of how we should be living, and what society think about, you know, the track I want to go down, and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, how does it feel in your heart? Does it feel good to you? Okay, do that thing then. Follow that passion, that interest, you know? But, man, take the time to slow down. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, 1 minute, 10 minutes a day, like, before you, like, right after you get up or something, like, take that time to just, like, be still and be like, you know, set the day. Set the day off right. You set the mood for the day. Don't let something or somebody else set the mood for the day, man. For real. Be still. And you'll be able to hear that voice, that higher voice, that's going to point you in the direction that you want to go. You know? I forgot the Bible verse. I don't know if it's Matthew or Psalms. But there's a Bible verse that's be still and know that I am God. Shout out NK. But be still and know that I am God. When we're still and our inner environment is calm and it's quiet, you know, that's when we get the answers that we need or are looking for from God, our intuition, higher consciousness, Christ consciousness. When we're still, that's when we get that. It's like we putting ourselves in a position to receive, you know? When we running around and everything is so chaotic, it's hard to hear that voice. Like I was saying earlier, because to me that voice is very quiet. It's not like a very loud voice. So you got to be able to like hear it, you know? And if you got too much stuff going on and you're too distracted, you're not going to be able to hear that voice. And all the clutter and all that extraness is going to be louder than that voice, and it's just going to distract you from hearing the only voice that like truly matters, you know? So, man, it's good to slow down, right? I'm not saying be lazy. I'm not saying like F off and just, you know, not lock in and not be on your purpose or focus, but understand how important it is to have those moments of being still and those moments of being calm and quiet, you know? Learn how to rest, learn how to be still for a second. It's not being lazy. I think it's actually very helpful because sometimes we need that intuitive guidance. Like, you know, we be at a crossroads and we be like, we got two things we trying to like decide between, and we're like, damn, like, which direction do I go, you know? And it's like, when we be still and we just kind of, the answers will come to us, yo. Like, the answers will come. You got to cultivate that environment, though. So if you're running around, I feel like it's hard to receive them answers. When there's too much chaos going around, there's too much, you know, movement, thought, whatever, opinions going on. It's like when you could calm that down, you could really hear it clearly. So, all in all, I just want to say, man, take the time to be still. It's okay. You're not lazy. I know it might feel uncomfortable to like sit still for a second. You know, we so overstimulated with the apps and the internet and TV and everybody's opinions and shit like that. That you know, we may not feel comfortable being relaxed or being still, but work on it. It's a skill like anything else. Just know that if you want to hear that voice of God, I feel like being still is highly important, yo. It's highly important. So take the time to be still. You don't got to do it for hours on end. Take 1 minute to get yourself right. But just know that stillness is not laziness. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to slow down. Because that's usually where we get our next intuitive hunches to, you know, bring in new ideas to help us grow whatever it is that we're working on or improve whatever it is that we're working on, you know? So, yeah, trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, and trust that you're being led on the path that's for you, you know? But take those moments before you or after you wake up, just right after you wake up, before you start your whatever morning routine and before you go to sleep, you know, just kind of set the tone with a minute of stillness, you know. Do more if you got more time, but the time doesn't really matter. It's just taking that moment to like be still. Yeah, till next time, be still. Go hear that voice. Love.